Hey folks, it's Patrick here. You know, the scenes of the resurrection are all around us. Every day there's little symbols and things that point to new life springing up around us, but there may be no better place to look for new life than over a simple meal. I know that probably sounds strange on the face of it, but the idea of a meal being the place where new life comes really isn't that foreign to us, right? Where does renewal in a friendship come from when you haven't seen one another in a long time? Usually, that, at least for me, has been over a meal. You know, when I'm trying to catch up and renew my relationship with Susanna, that often happens over a meal when we share the highs and the lows of our day and the highs and the lows of our week together. Our relationship is renewed, revitalized. So that's true for our walk of faith as much as it's true for our relationships. And there's really no better place to look than in the gospel accounts of the resurrection. A few weeks ago, Tyler talked about a resurrection account in the Gospel of Luke where these two disciples are walking down the road and don't even recognize Jesus until Jesus breaks bread with them. And then suddenly they see. The Gospel of John ends fairly similarly. The disciples are out fishing, still trying to figure out exactly what they're going to do in light of this resurrection. And they look to the shore, and through Jesus' instruction, they get a huge haul of fish and bring it to the shore. And Jesus has already set up a little campfire there for them to share a meal together. And it's around that campfire that something really amazing happens. So Peter, who's he's the rock, he's sort of the leader among the disciples. He's been weighed down with guilt and shame since before Jesus' death. On the eve of Jesus' crucifixion, he denied Jesus 3 times after telling Jesus that he would go with him all the way through any experience of hardship. And he failed that test 3 times in a row before the rooster crowed. And the weight of that pushed him back into an old career of fishing. So Jesus meets him on the shore of the lake and looks at him and simply asks 3 questions, none of them being about guilt, all of them being about love. Peter, do you love me? And the response is really simple. Yes, Lord, you know I love you. Jesus said to him, feed my lambs. And then he asked him a second time, Simon, son of John, do you love me? Simon replied, yes, Lord, you know I love you. Jesus said to him, take care of my sheep. And then he asked a third time, Simon, son of John, do you love me? And Peter was sad that Jesus asked him a third time, do you love me? He replied, Lord, you know everything. You know I love you. And Jesus said to him, feed my sheep. And just like that, everything that Peter had built up shame over, around this sense of guilt, is washed away. So much of what keeps us from being renewed in our life of faith is just our stuff to work through. Jesus doesn't hold those grudges. God doesn't hold those grudges. We hold them against ourselves. And maybe sometimes it's helpful to notice and pay attention to the mistakes that we make so that we can do it differently next time. But Jesus simply asks, do you love me? Not keeping an account of how we may have failed. Only asking if we're willing to follow and to feed, and to be present. Anyway, I know I have experienced that forgiveness, and I hope that you have too. If message is helpful to you, be sure to like it and share it with someone who may need to hear it. The Gospel of John is full of incredible moments like this where Jesus surprises and overturns all of our expectations, both of God and of ourselves. So please do like and share. It helps us to know that you're there. And also, as a question for you, I wonder if you have experienced that cathartic release of engaging with a renewed relationship around the table. Where have you been able to renew a relationship around a table? I'd love to know that, especially now that we're distant from one another. How has food been able to rekindle your relationships? Anyway, I hope you're well, and I look forward to seeing you in worship online this Sunday. Take care.